The Battle of the Bell occurs for the second time in 3 years and way more significant stakes in terms of the TSI AA playoffs. Here in Antioch, Tennessee, the Lighthouse Christian School Lions, under the helm of their new head coach and athletic director, Sean Bell, collide with Dustin McGee and the Ezell-Harding Christian School Eagles in this week's Kingdom.com Extreme Game of the Week. Welcome to everyone watching around the world. I'm Spencer Thompson alongside Brendan Daniel. Proud to be with you in Antioch, Tennessee. I like the wave. That's got to be your signature thing now. That's a nice touch. For the Ezell-Harding Christian School Eagles, this game looked like it was going to be the start of their regular season. They had to delay it due to positive COVID cases within their organization. Delayed it to today, to a Thursday night right before Labor Day weekend begins. But for the Ezell-Harding Christian School Eagles, they're coming off of a blowout loss against the Franklin Christian Academy Falcons, who seem to have the best defensive line in the league. So for Ezell-Harding, the question is, can their offense get past the defense of the Lighthouse Christian School Lions, who have also had their struggles? They're 0-1 in division right now. Ezell-Harding facing their first in division matchup. This game could essentially come down to the wire, especially when it comes to seeding to get into Division I. And Brendan, you look at Ezell-Harding, we've seen them already several times. They just have had a tough season the last few weeks, especially with their matchup against Grace Baptist. How do you assess this Ezell-Harding team coming into this game?
Well, this Ezell-Harding team is probably ready to go. They've had practices, even though it's been inside, but I'm sure they're ready to go. They're ready to get popping and really show who they really are today.
And for Lighthouse, we've seen them a few times on the year as well, and they've got some interesting matchups coming up. But for Coach Sean Bell and company, they know it's do or die here in Antioch. They know what they have to do, especially in this contest. This is a must-win if they want to get into Division I. How do they do that with their starting quarterback at Satterwhite out for the season?
It's going to be tough, but hey, you know the rule, next guy up. So the next few guys that come up, they're just going to have to play good, play right, and just do what they can to win these games from now here on out.
And Colby seriously looking fantastic as ever. Here in Antioch, the second edition of the Battle of the Bell. The Lions collide with the Eagles next.
this day. We thank you, Lord God, that we get to come into this place and we get to occupy this space for this great game that you've created for us. We pray a blessing over each player, every coach, the officials, the cheerleaders, everyone that's on their way to the game, and even us who are here in this time. Father, we ask that you will give us a beautiful night of football. We pray no injuries. We pray safety as we return home. In Jesus' name, amen. Now, ladies and gentlemen, would you please rise and remove your cap for the playing of our national anthem.
We're live now.
In Tennessee.
You can already hear the bells ringing here on PA system. The Lighthouse Christian School Lions essentially fighting for their Division I playoff hopes. Need a win tonight against the Ezell-Harding Christian School Eagles. And for Ezell-Harding, their first in-division matchup, they could afford to lose this one, but at least we're talking with Coach McGee, the tough losses they've taken throughout the last several weeks, they're happy they got in this game. At the end of the day, they're focused on getting a W, and that's what Coach McGee and company are here to do tonight. Ezell-Harding won the toss and elected to receive. So we'll see the visiting team of the Ezell-Harding Eagles. And will receive the ball to start out this Thursday night contest. In this contest, rescheduled from first week of the regular season. Originally going to take place the weekend of August 13th, or on that Friday actually. That was rescheduled, as you all know. Called that contest between Lighthouse. They had a home game against the Freedom Cowboys. And Ezell-Harding will receive to start out the first half with winning the coin toss. See if the Lighthouse defense can stop Ezell-Harding in what's essentially for the third seed in the TSI AA North.
And with the boot of the ball, away we go here as whistle's blown. And it looks like they are going to re-kick.
First free kick at the start of the game, huh?
Looks like Coach Bellamy having a laugh at the side judge over there. It's probably just a little bit of an equipment malfunction. And with the kick, away we go in Antioch as this ball will still go out of bounds. And of course they throw the flag for going out and placed on the 40-yard line. So we'll see how Ezell-Harding's offense comes out tonight. As they start from their own 40-yard line. Eagles have had a rough run the last few weeks. Lost Franklin Christian last week, trying to recoup from that as they get a carry up middle for about 4-yard gain for a 2nd and 6.
I expect both teams to play with urgency today. See, this is the must-win game for both teams.
As the game goes on, that's likely what we are going to see. 27-0 was the score in that contest last week where Franklin Christian got the victory over Ezell-Harding. And a pitch in the backfield. Just a lob with a carry to the left side by Noah Preston. Junior looks like he's going to move the chains for a first down or maybe just shy of it.
That was a first.
Calling time. Yep, first down. They moved the chains.
And that was a little beautiful juke move he pulled off as he got the ball. And he fumbled it a little bit, but he was able to carry it.
At 54-6, the score for Grace Baptist getting the win over Ezell-Harding. Rough few weeks for the Eagles as get a new set of downs, and it's attempt to carry up the middle, waited for the call. Believe it was an interception.
No, it was a fumble.
Fumble down on the field, and all ready to start out. Ezell-Harding turns over the ball, and the Lighthouse Lions will capitalize on it. This Lighthouse offense takes over with a fumble recovery. I believe from Lighthouse it was call with flag is waved off by Odell Bradley. And Lighthouse is going to call a timeout to take it over on their first offensive play. Timeout here for the Lighthouse Christian School Lions. New set of downs. First offensive play for the Lions. This will be a handoff for Christian Sharp, player who was injured the majority of the season last year. Went out in about week 1 or week 2 and carries the ball for 4 yards for his 2nd and 6. Thursday evening contest. The weather has finally cooled down here in September as Christian Sharp cuts out a tackle, got some space to the left, and pushing for some additional yards after contact. Christian Sharp moves it to the 32-yard line. New set of downs for Lighthouse Christian. Christian Sharp getting out of bounds. Trying to push it down the field. They're going to trust Sharp again. Carry it for about a 5-yard gain.
They got Lighthouse out here winning in the trenches, giving that wide open space for him to get a run.
Ezell-Harding's defense just doesn't have much of an answer at this point, trying to find one.
Well, that's been the main problem with them is their defense. So hopefully they get this figured out soon, or else it's going to be a rough trip for the rest of the season.
Second and 5. And ball loose in the backfield. It's still down. Looks like Ezell-Harding may have fallen on it. Waiting for the signal with the whistles. Ezell-Harding dealing back a turnover to Lighthouse. And give credit to Ryan Taylor, the senior, for getting into the pile there and recovering the football. And Ezell-Harding, just like that, they're back on offense.
Yeah, he knows the urgency of winning now, that they're in a winning moment, and they need to win desperately. Expect the seniors to show out today.
Now again, Ezell-Harding has not played a single divisional matchup through the season up to today. This is their first divisional matchup, but again, likely with the competition they're facing in South Haven and Christian Community, this could be for 3rd place in the Division I. Is a deep toss in the middle to the 50-yard line. It's incomplete. Looked like the pass was intended for Melvin Cousins.
He was looking for a flag, but that was fair coverage, honestly.
Second and 10. Pitch in the backside. Carry to the left, finding some space on the sideline. What a juke! And just like that, Ezell-Harding going all the way is Kalen Robinson for the touchdown.
He about messed up with that little slow up there, but you got to keep trucking with that. Good run and great blocking by Ezell-Harding. As the replay goes on, he slowed up a little bit there. Had a couple of fans up here a little nervous, but hey, he made it. Great run.
Looked close as he tiptoed the sideline. You saw in the initial cut about 10 yards past the line of scrimmage. And just like that, Ezell-Harding is on the board. What was a fumble recovery, the pitch attempt to Colby Searcy. It's now turned into 6 points, potentially 8.
That's how you take care of business.
Scrambling, trying to get past the line of scrimmage. No chance for Melvin Cousins. That'll leave it just to 6-0, but Ezell-Harding strikes first here in the Battle of the Bell. 8:36 left to go in the first quarter. Ezell-Harding capitalizes on a turnover. And deep back to receive for Lighthouse. Going to be carry up by 13 of the Lions. As he's finding some space, gets down to about the 45-yard line. We'll see how Lighthouse Christian responds.
That's the best return we've had all season so far.
One of the better returns in that, return by Cadence Melendez, the sophomore.
Marking a spot for himself. That's one of the young guys coming in, probably taking over for one of the injuries.
See how this Lighthouse offense responds. On 1st and 10, they hand it off to Sharp. He's got about 3 yards at first, but pushing the pile. Christian Sharp for the first down.
That's how you run the ball. Even with the defensive line on you, you just keep moving them feet and you'll get where you need to be. As you see on the replay, just keep moving your feet. The offensive line will help you sometimes, but you have to mainly just move those feet.
Christian Sharp, again injured for the first injured in the first few weeks of the 2020 8-man football season. Coming back now as a senior, trying to put his team in a position to head to the state championship. Lighthouse hasn't brought one back to Antioch since 2014. Of course, Coach Sean Bell trying to build a winning culture in Antioch. A long road to get there. They continue it here with a carry by Searcy. Colby Searcy loses it. There's a flag down as Searcy tries to make something of nothing. And another flag flies in from the far side. And they will stop the clock here. And looks like Odell Bradley and company have a lot to discuss over. They're talking it over with Coach McGee. Looks like both of these will be on Lighthouse.
Blindside block on the offense, 10-yard penalty, repeat, first down.
They do call that one on Lighthouse, so this will be about a 1st down and 25. 1st down and a quarter of the field.
Already a rough start for Lighthouse. This is not what you want in this game. In do or die games, you want to be perfect at all times.
1st and long. Here's to Searcy again. Searcy weaving through the defense. Another flag on the backside. And look,
2 flags here.
With 2 flags, more than likely this will be brought back again.
1 holding, probably 1 late hit.
There were 2 fouls on the play. We got a hold on the offense. We got dead ball, personal foul on the defense. It's going to be 1st down.
So I believe because of one of those being a dead ball and one during the play, they enforce them both. You'll just see how it goes here. So repeat 1st down there. They actually start right back where they started.
It's like a little miscommunication between the offense.
1st and 25 again. Instead of Searcy, it's just carried by Nesbitt. Nesbitt, gain of about 8 yards. correction on that is Daniel Walls, the junior, who is starting at the quarterback position for Lighthouse. And carries it for about 7 to 8 yards for a 2nd and 20. So now it's 2nd and 10. As Walls gets brought down in the backfield. Ezell-Harding getting credited for the sack there. Ryan Taylor again.
The Ezell-Harding defense starting to step up as planned. As they stuff right in the middle. Not enough room to him to move or give the ball off.
On a 3rd and 10, Lighthouse, desperation, looking for the pass, slung to the far left side, intended there for Melendez, and incomplete.
Yeah, they need a passing play, but they got to execute that a lot better than what they just did.
So about at the 45-yard line, Lighthouse will just punt it away. And with a high snap, it's booted away by Satterwhite. And they'll let this bounce to about the 12-yard line.
Great punt, great punt.
.458 left to go in the first here. Actually give credit to Ethan Sayasak, the senior, for the punt there. Satterwhite, fortunately injured and likely out for the season, at least a good chunk of it. So I'm in crutches and a boot. As the ball loose, did Lighthouse fall on it? Looks like they're going to rule 2nd down, and Ezell-Harding gets the recovery. A lucky break for Ezell-Harding with losing the football.
Very lucky break, especially with the field position they're in. They don't want to give up that ball right now.
As it brings up a 2nd and 15. With motion, it's going to be a pass, a well-executed play. If it had been a catch by Michael Davis, just a step behind the ball.
Yeah, just slightly off the ball. Just a little bit more steps, and he probably would have got that, and he'd probably take it home.
That brings up a 3rd down. Third and 15. And this will be handed off. Trying to carry it up the middle is Gabe Guzman, the senior, and with that carry, it'll bring up a 4th down with just a few yards gain. Likely a punt away here by Ezell-Harding.
Here Coach say go get
It's
it.
off the ground and finally boots it away, but probably wants to get another opportunity at that punt. Yeah. It'll go right about to where we're trying to get a first down, and brings up a great field advantage for Lighthouse and a chance for them to capitalize and get a score. Speaking of scores, let's hand it over to James Shannon with the latest of the other scores. It's not the only game going down on a Thursday night, so let's get the latest scores from James Shannon.
Hey guys, over in Knoxville, of course this game kicking off an hour, they're an hour and ahead. The game is actually already over. It's a final. South Haven Christian 68, Tennessee School for the nothing 0. Also waiting on updates for Tennessee Heat at Zion Christian.
Thank you, James. No updates on that, as here's a carry by Christian Sharp to the right side. Christian Sharp for the touchdown, the equalizer.
What an easy walk in for it. As you watch this replay right here, just nice, easy brush through. Great run. And great work by the offensive line to get those blocks in.
And just like that, Lighthouse ties it up. And a big thanks in part to the muffed punt.
Big out to the muffed punt.
Now, muffed might not be the proper term on that because it didn't get blocked. As Christian Sharp tries to push through the end zone, and 2-point conversion is good. So Lighthouse will take the lead 8-6 with 3:06 left to go in the first. Lighthouse takes the lead already. Might be a back-and-forth scoring game here in Antioch. Again, the implications as this, just an onside kick attempt, and it looks like it'll be out at the 49-yard line. And they will place it at the spot of where it went out of bounds. A good field advantage for Ezell-Harding to start out with.
Type of field position you need just to score again. Keep this a close game.
First and 10, just barely across midfield for Ezell-Harding.
See if they can capitalize on it.
Only 49 yards to go for them to get a score. As this is lobbed in the backfield to Preston. Noah Preston weaving through. The junior has got space, gets past the final man. Almost got past the final man. Elijah Barga preventing the touchdown. But for Ezell-Harding, a great rush, and they're in the red zone.
Good run by him, too, and nice tackle. Great wrapping, right where you need it. Way to save that touchdown.
Now spotted at the 13-yard line as the Ezell-Harding Eagles back on the move.
He came up a little limping, though. That may be a problem later on.
First and 10 inside the 20. Carry it by Ryan Taylor. Gain of about 4 to 5 yards.
Both teams are running through the tackles very nicely. You love to see it. Those are the type of things you want to see from your running backs.
Especially love to see at this point the amount of yards after contact that are happening on both sides of the ball right now.
Those are big things for games, too, especially a game like this where you need the win either way.
2nd and 6. This is going to be to the right side. Melvin Cousins looking for the space, trying to get towards the end zone. And he'll at least get the first down or close to it. They'll rule him short for a 3rd down and 2.
He's just a hair off, but it was nice jukes, nice moves just to get close enough to possibly just punch in that easy touchdown. The offense is executing very nicely this time around.
Keep it down with just over 70 seconds left to go in the first quarter. Ezell-Harding knocking on the door of taking back the lead as a handoff there and flags fly, likely a false start. Thinks his microphone is on and it is a false start. Move it back 5 yards there for the Eagles. Third down and 5. Under 60 seconds left in the first. As a motion, they'll lob it back. Here goes Paul Nix, the senior, to the end zone. Touchdown.
Like I said, your seniors are going to have to do most of the work for this win to come true. Good run, Boyle. You see the replay. It's perfect blocking by his offense. Just, yeah, perfect speed. Nice little tightrope right behind that sideline.
Ezell-Harding taking back the lead, 12-8, chance to make it a 6-point game in a few seconds as the Eagles collide here in the Battle of the Bell for their first in-division matchup for the TSIAA North. They'll hand it off and get it towards the goal line. That's a 2-point conversion for Gabe Guzman, the senior. Make that 14-8. About 42.6 to go in the first. .42 seconds left to go in the first, and a return attempt here by Kalen Robinson and brought down about the 13-yard line.
And what a hit. Oh, my gosh, laid the wood on him.
Great tackle there and brings it down. Lighthouse Christian School has a lot of field to march down.
As good as their offense ran last time, they shouldn't have any issues. They just got to work on that passing plays.
First and 10, hand out to Christian Sharp. Trying to find some space. He's got an opening, cuts out a man. Christian Sharp, they're trying to bring him down. Takes 3 Ezell-Harding defenders to bring him down at the 44-yard line. Christian Sharp getting about a 35 to 40-yard rush.
And as you can see with this replay, like Spencer said, yards after hit, man, it's a lot. And he is trucking them on, whether the defense is on them or not.
And no sense of urgency here by the Lighthouse offense. It looks like they're just going to rush it down at the 44-yard line. Maybe they get one more play in before the end of the quarter.
Cutting it close.
And they get it off. As the ball loose and whistle blown as the quarter expires. Waiting for the whistle. They rule it down by contact.
Yeah, he just made it down as he released the ball.
It looked like it may have started coming out from his arm security.
He was down. He just
close.
let it go as he came down.
I don't know if it could get played up again, but looked like the ball could have been going loose on there. But you all be the judge of that, of course. But with 12 minutes gone here in the Battle of the Bell, 14-8, Ezell-Harding leads. Kingdom.com Extreme Game of the Week, sponsored by Grace Point Healthcare, modern medicine the old-fashioned way, and by Fairlife Core Power Protein. Work hard, recover harder. Started the second quarter in Antioch, Tennessee. Lighthouse will air it out to the right side, and incomplete. Would have been an amazing catch by Colby Searcy had he pulled it in. As you hear some more whistles blowing down, but incomplete with a flag down on the sideline.
Illegal formation on the offense. That penalty is going to be declined. It's going to be third down.
Call that one on Lighthouse's offense. They'll move it back for about a 3rd and 14. What's the latest happening around the 8-man football world, James?
Well, it's not in the 8-man football world, but Spencer, but for those of you who bleed orange, a little update in the first quarter. It's University of Tennessee 14, Bowling Green nothing.
I can't believe you just told me you had a scoring update
I
for
did
that.
not lie. It was a scoring update.
I can't believe you just did that. As flags fly again.
Don't cancel me.
Dead ball, false start, offense, 5-yard penalty. Repeat, third down.
I do have a for real update.
You sure?
Yes.
You sure on this one?
It's a for real update.
All right, what you got?
Hey, at the end of the first quarter, your score is Tennessee Heat 7, Zion Christian nothing.
Timeout, timeout. Lighthouse.
So Zion,
Again,
yeah, go ahead.
Again, that's Tennessee Heat 7, Zion Christian 0.
So the Tennessee Heat have gone up early. Timeout here by Lighthouse to think it over with just 14 seconds into the second quarter. Lighthouse just thinking it over, calling their second timeout of the first half. As they have a 3rd and long. Scramble here for Walls, and he gets brought down few yards past the line of scrimmage, but another 4th and out here for Lighthouse's offense.
Great defensive play by Ezell-Harding, way to keep him boxed in where he couldn't get out.
Well, the Ezell-Harding defense has stood tall here through the majority of the first half, only allowing one touchdown and a 2-pointer.
Again, they must have heard Coach Daniel, I'm telling you.
Lighthouse is going to punt it away as this is booted away by Ethan Sayasak. Down to about the 27-yard line, and the Ezell-Harding offense will go back to work. And again, we had that final score earlier from the South Haven and Tennessee School for the Deaf game. Very much one-sided. Congratulations to the Patriots on remaining unbeaten on the year. Not taking a single loss yet.
Still a long season. You never know what could happen.
A lot of time left. It's the first weekend of September. Great way to start it out.
Nice for good weather, too, for football.
Beautiful weather here in Antioch. As carry to the right side. Looks like Kalen Robinson again. Going to get a gain of about 7 or 8 yards.
And as you tell the replay, it's perfect blocking by the team, just enough to get him at that 7. Good speed to catch up to it, too.
Ezell-Harding's offense actually got a gain of 5 yards there. Bring up a 2nd and 5. And lob this on the left side. This carry, I believe, by Henry O'Kelly. It's a gain of about 3 more yards.
Lighthouse is putting up good defense as well. They're not doing as good as Ezell-Harding maybe, but they at least are stopping the first down from happening.
Stopping it for at least one more play, a 3rd and 4 coming up. The Eagles, flags fly there, likely a false start.
Hey, who's got my ref?
Dead ball, encroachment on the defense, 5-yard penalty. Result of the penalty is going to be a 1st down.
So a lucky break for Ezell-Harding. Lighthouse encroaching.
Lighthouse is getting killed with the penalties out here. They're going to have to ease that up in order to stay in this game.
And an interesting note for you, there is no offsides in high school football. It's only encroachment or neutral zone infractions.
You learn something new every day.
Learned that from some intense conversations with Ronnie Perkins, but learned eventually as Ryan Taylor gets a carry to the left side and gain of 8 yards.
Way to fake out, too, because I had no idea who had the ball. But as you can see, run through that defense, no problem. Just shy of that 1st down.
The senior showing up here for Ezell-Harding.
And like I said, this is the moments where you rely on your upperclassmen, do all the hard work for you.
Gained 7 on that last play to get the Eagles closer and closer to midfield. As they'll do a carry up the middle. Taylor again pushes across midfield for the 1st down.
This man will not be stopped. He is running through these linemen like they're nothing. It's like both sides of these running backs. They're going to be hard to tackle down.
That carry of the middle takes him to about the 48-yard line. And now the Eagles in Lions territory.
Just keep feeding them the ball. They can't stop them.
And a sack in the backfield. The Lighthouse defense does not let him go anywhere. It looks like Kennedy McCarthy's and company gets the stop.
It looks like Kennedy was the main one to read that play. He instantly went for the quarterback with no hesitation.
Great sack to force a 2nd and 15, puts the Eagles back in their own territory. And it looks like Coach McGee is going to call a timeout. Timeout call by the Eagles. About 8.5 left to go in the second quarter. Got to think it over. Coach McGee and company just discussing it. Timeout. And on a 2nd and 15, going to be a keeper and right side rush. A carry there by Melvin Cousins, who's a lot of carries tonight, a lot of possession of the football, and gets him back up for a 3rd and 11.
Great awareness also for him to keep that ball and just keep moving forward enough to get that first down.
Ezell-Harding trying to increase their lead. They have a long way to go to make that happen on this drive. They face a 3rd and 11. They give motion again, and flags fly.
Dead ball, false start on the offense, 5-yard penalty, still be 3rd down.
Make that even more of a gap for them to try and fill with a 3rd down and 16.
And that's rough on them as they want to keep this lead up as possible because you never know what Lighthouse will come out with.
3rd and 16. And whistles again. Looks like another timeout burned by Coach McGee to try and think it over here. Coming up on the Iceberg Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling halftime report. Give you thoughts and analysis of the first half. We'll also get you the latest scoring updates from around the other games going on. That's coming up on the Iceberg Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling halftime report. But at least for now, the latest scoring updates we got for you are from James Shannon.
Hey guys, in the second quarter, it's Zion Christian on the board. They have scored, and the 2-point conversion was no good. Your score, Tennessee Heat 7, Zion Christian 6.
Close game in Columbia. I believe both teams now just have one timeout remaining. 8:03 left to go in the first half.
Lighthouse is piling on that box.
And they pile it on. They do a double reverse. This one is Elijah Donnell. Gets to the left side, finds the opening, cuts out a man, and finally brought down from behind. It'll be a 1st down to about the 35-yard line. But how about Elijah Donnell, the freshman making that play.
And if you watch this replay, you notice that get-up speed that he had just to make it past every single linebacker or lineman that he had to go against.
Speed was the name of the game on that one, and another first down for Ezell-Harding. They march it downfield.
Ready to move that ball up for a desperate first down, too. You need this. Now the goal is to score.
First and 10. Here's a scramble, right side pitch, and incomplete. Looked like he didn't have. Looked like a miscommunication there, possibly intended for Noah Preston, but it brings up second down.
They're going to have to fix this communication. It's been both problems for both sides, and they're going to have to fix this in order to win.
They have the command right now with a 6-point lead. It's only a matter of time before a miscommunication like that turns into a turnover.
Exactly. And probably a pick six.
Second and 10. Pitch it again. Carry to the right side. Noah Preston going to get a first down and forced out of bounds, but another set of downs. It looks like we got a Lighthouse player injured, slow to get up. Chains move for Ezell-Harding. And, yep, looks like we do have a player for the Lighthouse Christian School Lions down on the field. They're going to have the training staff look at him for an injury timeout. So the good news, at least for Elijah Barga, he is able to stand on his own feet and go over to the sideline.
You just hate to see it for Lighthouse. They can't afford to lose any more players.
A lot of injuries for him on the year as this ball gets carried up the middle. And Melvin Cousins again. Gain of 3 yards. As we apologize for that camera loss there. And under 6 minutes left to go in the first half. This is to the left side. Rushed by Searcy. Colby Searcy, the senior, trying to get to the outside as they continue to run it, but loss of several yards.
And way to track down that running back by that defensive player. Excuse me. Whoa.
About 5 minutes left to go, and brought down for a loss to about a 3rd down and 11. Not much for Ezell-Harding to do on that one.
Just pick it up the next play. That's all you can do.
Third and 11. One being carried up the middle and stopped at about the original 1st and 10 indicator. 3rd and 9. Excuse me, a 4th and 9 coming up.
At this rate, you might as well go for it. Try to put some numbers on the board or make it difficult for Lighthouse to score.
And you've seen this kind of offense before in the past with Christian Community. I'm gonna apologize for that. Christian Community had this in the day, and some other offenses back in the early history of 8-man football. As a 4th and 9, Ezell-Harding will go for a toss towards the end zone and incomplete. And the Ezell-Harding sideline, there's a flag down after the fact. Ezell-Harding wanting a pass interference on there. Likely not why they're getting the flag there as you see the replay.
That does look like a pass interference, though, but we'll see. We'll see what the refs say.
Saw the flag in come after the fact. Odell Bradley has the call.
I think he forgot to turn his mic on.
No, he's still talking. There we go. Here's Odell.
Pass interference on the defense. Half the distance to the goal. Gonna be on there 1st down.
Objection. It's not overruled. Trying to remember the legal terminology on that.
We're not lawyers.
It's not overruled. It's granted, I believe.
Overturned.
Overturned.
Yeah, the cornerback was just on him a little bit too much, even off the scrimmage. So you got to give him some little lift room so he can at least attempt to get to that ball.
So with half the distance of the goal, it brings up a 1st and goal inside the 10-yard line as he pitched it in the backfield. This ball, Searcy stopping Cousins from getting anywhere. That'll be a loss of about 4 or 5.
Tell you what, that was a great wrap-up. As you see this replay, he went straight to him nonstop. Just straight took him down.
Three and a half left to go for the end of the 1st half. As the ball loose in the backfield, immediately fallen back on by Cousins. Missed snap there and brings up a 3rd and goal.
Smart move just to fall for it instead of just trying to grab it, which most people try to do. Sometimes it's best to fall than just try to grab it. At least that's what you're taught.
Teach you a lot of things in practice.
Absolutely. Fall on the ball if it goes on the ground. Remember to wrap up your guy instead of hand tackle or arm tackle.
Also teach you with sprints or suicides or laps to never commit any penalties again.
Absolutely, but sometimes you still don't learn. So more laps.
Sometimes. Scramble here on a 3rd and goal. On the run, Mobile trying to get something going. I believe it was Cousins again. Didn't break the goal line. Got at least close to it. As now about a 4th down and goal. 4th and goal on about the 1-yard line.
It's when you get your biggest running back and just give it to him and let him squeeze it in there. Just trump.
In the back on the offense, 10-yard penalty, then repeat 3rd down.
So what could have been a touchdown or at least a chance to pop it in brings it back for a 3rd down and goal again, as this is spotted past the 10-yard line, about at the 16. Didn't even see where the flag was. What a block in the back. No 2-minute warnings in high school football as we're under 2 minutes in the 1st half. Scramble, toss towards the end zone, and a reception is made. Touchdown. Looks like Taylor may have had the reception. Trying to see the number. Correction, Noah Preston for the touchdown.
That was a great catch by him. Perfect throw by the quarterback as well. Just right over that corner's head.
The good news for Lighthouse is they do receive the ball to start the second half, but with only one timeout in a minute 48, sense of urgency now to rush it down the field so they could get a score to make it within a one-possession game.
Not as much of a sense of urgency, but you at least want to see if you can make it down there.
As the ball loose, it is a 12-point game here. 1:48 left to go in the first half. As we'll get you a quick scoring update from James Shannon.
Hey guys, down in Columbia, the Tennessee Heat have put another touchdown on the board. It's still within reach for Zion, though. It's Tennessee Heat 14, Eagles 6.
Keeping it close in Columbia, especially after the contest they had canceled a few weeks ago, or suspended until further notice against Franklin Classical with the storms coming in. Storming earlier this week. Our thoughts, best wishes go out to all the families and family members affected by Hurricane Ida. All of our friends in the southeast. So, of course, we had nowhere near the amount of effects with the storm and such. We had some rain on Monday and Tuesday, but not near as bad of conditions as has been across the panhandle of Florida and throughout Louisiana and the southeast. Our best wishes go out to all the families affected by Hurricane Ida. Carry the right side, and that was Colby Searcy on the return, gets it to about they'll spot it at about the 43-yard line. It's a good field advantage for Lighthouse, especially with a sense of scoring so they could be in the driver's seat for this second half.
Now you have that point of urgency where you want to score because this is a perfect spot for your team to get that score, and you want to do it quick with only a minute 39 left. But not too quick. You don't want to leave too much time for the other team.
So they'll start it out on their own 38-yard line as Lighthouse gets carried to the right side. Christian Sharp weaving through the defense once again after contact all the way down to the 24-yard line. Christian Sharp knows they have to score, knows he has to get big gains here, and he does on this.
Absolutely. Look as he runs through this defense. No problems at all. Just the workhorse of this team, and he knows we have to win this game. There is no losing in this one.
And Ezell-Harding is going to use their final timeout of the first half with a minute 22 left to go. .122 left to go in the second quarter. Coach McGee thinking it over as a toss to the right side. The catch is made. Christian Sharp is going to get a first down inside the 5.
Almost close to a touchdown, by the way he was running. Look at all that people, but still no tackle down. Ezell-Harding's going to have to figure out a way how to tackle him, not only as a group, but one-on-one.
And they're going to stop the clock with 56 seconds left. A called time on the field. I believe a timeout called by Lighthouse. Looks like they're fixing the time on the scoreboard with a few seconds running off. They put a minute and 6 seconds. Looks like he did step out of bounds at about the 5-yard line. Extra 10 seconds added on there, and flags fly likely for a false start.
Dead ball, false start on offense, 5-yard penalty, repeat, first down.
only shaved off 1 second there. .105 left to go in the first half. Lighthouse knocking on the door of making it a one-possession game as Christian Sharp to the right side. Gets contacted, trying to push through the pile, and won't get through the scrum on that one. Gets a gain of about 2 yards on the play for a 2nd and goal coming up.
Slight improvement by the defense. Way to box in that whole gap. But, hey, you're still using the whole team. You're going to have to figure out that one guy who can take him down by himself, or it's going to be an issue this whole entire game.
And it's going to bring it down to 35 seconds. It's Lighthouse, I believe they have 1 timeout left. As the ball loose in the backfield, they're going to take a huge loss to about the 15-yard line, and Coach Bell will use his final timeout.
And I'm sure he is heated after that one, because that was a touchdown for sure.
22 seconds remain in the first half. As they're going to think it over on the sideline here for Ezell-Harding. Put on your coach's cap for a second here, Brendan. What do you think Coach Bell's going to try here on a 3rd and goal past the 15?
I mean, give it to your workhorse. He's been doing good so far. Just keep him rolling. If it's taking a whole group to take him down, just give him the ball. Yeah,
give it to Christian Sharp, or maybe even if they trust Searcy to be on the move, even though he had that scare against the Freedom Cowboys in the first week. And wonder, are there any scares with the scoring updates going around here, James, or is it still within reach over in Columbia?
We've got a tie ball game in Columbia. It's Tennessee Heat 14. Zion Christian just scored, got the 2-point conversion. Tied game at 14.
So tie over there. In the 2nd quarter, tied over there is a scramble by Searcy, looking to get the pass off, finds a corner in the end zone. Did he get the, almost had it there. Trying to pull the reception in was Cadence Melendez. Had the perfect opening for it, just couldn't grasp it.
And that's rough, right at that corner right there. You're trying to make sure your feet are in, and you're trying to catch that ball at the same time. Just too much for the wide receiver to handle at the moment.
13.7, and final play likely on offense for Lighthouse as they sling it. It's an interception. Chance for something dangerous here, but the defense immediately stops there. An interception by Ezell-Harding with 4.9 to go in the first half.
It was the fumble of the ball, and he just tried to whip it out. It's the first guy he saw, but sometimes you want to just wait and process, but he didn't try to do that at all.
No timeouts for either side, so likely a knee down here. Perfect time to remind you that the Kingdom.com Extreme Game of the Week, sponsored by First Horizon, all things financial, and by Crutcher's Auto Repair, trusted by Franklin since 1980. Thanks for the camera shot early on there, James. It's not halftime quite yet. Got a few more seconds as I try to switch it over to the field cam again. Love our executive director, James Shannon. All the best of love for him. As likely just a knee down here for Ezell-Harding. And they'll just knee it down here. Get to the end of the first half. Ezell-Harding has a 12-point commanding lead right now heading into halftime. 20-8 here in the Battle of the Bell. We'll be back in just a few moments for the Iceberg Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling halftime report. Welcome to the Iceberg Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling halftime report. 20-8 the score here in Antioch, Tennessee. Spencer Thompson alongside Brendan Daniel, and this first half has been pretty special. In the close matchups, we know fully well what's at stake for the TSI AA North, likely a matchup between who's going to be that 3 seed and who gets sent to Division II. But at least for now, Ezell-Harding, they know that this is a contest they have to win, and they've come to play here tonight.
They come to play, absolutely, and they have showed that the practice has made perfect now without any problems. They've been great on defense. They stepped it up, and the running game has been unstoppable at this point.
And for Coach Bell, it's been really tough, at least trying to get things going for his offense. It looked like they had some close things going on there, but just a lot of mistakes on the offensive side of the ball with turnovers that have cost them to get to this point now.
Absolutely, a lot of fumbles and a lot of penalties have been hurting them, but hopefully Coach can clean that up, and hopefully the players can listen to him and maybe get some points on the board before this game's over with.
That's at least the hope right now, but what we're looking at is about 8 minutes left to go in the halftime break. So 8 minutes. We'll be back in just a few moments. Thank you for watching the Iceberg Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling halftime report. We'll be back in about 8 minutes here in Antioch. Thank you again for watching the Iceberg Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Halftime Report. We are back in Antioch for the start of the second half. Lighthouse receiving the ball. They're stopped at the 24-yard line. Couldn't get a touchdown popped in before the end of the first half. Spencer Thompson alongside Brendan Daniel. Got our executive director, James Shannon, as well as Audrey Green up top with us, and Matthew Cruz operating the field cam. Proud to be with you in the Lions Den in Antioch, Tennessee for this Battle of the Bell. The second time in 3 years. Originally scheduled to occur last year, but due to the rescheduling with COVID-19, at the time these teams were not in the same division of the TSI-AA, so they opted to not hold the contest until the year following. So just the second overall matchup of these two teams. And it was a potential for a playoff Battle of the Bell, as this carry up the middle goes for about 5 yards. It was going to be a Battle of the Bell in the postseason, but of course coronavirus abruptly ended Ezell-Harding's season leading up to that contest and forced them to not defend their state championship in 2019. Had the same situation for the Eagles earlier where they had to reschedule this game. They're glad they got it in, and good thing they're hopefully getting this COVID situation out of the way early on in the season. As there's a deep toss on the right side. It's an interception. Pass intended for Searcy was picked off by Ezell-Harding, and it's going to be a pick six. Kalen Robinson, the sophomore, for the touchdown. It's either Robinson or Cousins.
I mean, it was a perfect pass play by the quarterback, but just in the wrong hands. And as he runs for this pick six, it's just speed after that.
Credit to the sophomore on that pick six. Makes it now a 26-8 score.
Talk about being in the right place at the right time.
Ezell-Harding trying to make it a 20-point lead. And again, if Ezell-Harding wins here, it's their first in-division win. They're 1-0. And for the Lighthouse Christian School Lions, potentially what would knock them out of the playoffs for Division I, as the two-point conversion attempt gets stopped at about the line of scrimmage. So an 18-point game, a 3-touchdown game here in Antioch. And this will be returned back. Searcy trying to get something going for the Lions. Has some chance here. Flag in the backfield as Searcy, there's a flag all the way back at where he received it. So this is going to likely come back, at least for now, a touchdown for Searcy. But the whistle blowing, Odell Bradley's going to bring this back to the 20.
I had the same thing.
Waiting for the call from Bradley. Just discussing it, and thinks his mic is on. It's a holding call on the return team. So they will bring it forward. They will bring it back to the 20-yard line or around that range. So what was looked like a great spark that the Lions needed Just results to where they bring it back to the 15-yard line.
The most part they needed, but it's just hurtful when they bring it back, man. Well, hopefully they can get something going with this offense. They've been pretty successful. It's just all the penalties and fumbles have been hurting them real bad.
And a handoff. They do hand it off as maybe a gain of 2 yards for the Lions as this carry by Sharp goes for a yard.
Looks like Ezell-Harding is starting to win in those trenches, boy. They're starting to stop them a little bit easier, even though it's taking the group. But, hey, sometimes it takes a team to go right.
Looked like potential coverage there by 60 James Hyman, the senior, as they try another carry here for Christian Sharp. The Lions have been depending on him a lot, and for good reason. Brings it up for about a 3rd down and 7, or excuse me, 7 yards from the original spot of the ball. And it'll be a 3rd down and 6 with a gain of a few yards there. Third down and 4 as Sharp tries to get the first down. That Ezell-Harding defense denies him. And a 4th down coming up.
They were easily prepared for that one. Defensive line was looking for him individually, nobody else.
So 4th down and 4 coming up for Lighthouse deep in their own territory. Likely they will punt it away in this situation. You wonder, being down now by almost 20 points. It's actually about to lead into that. They're not going to punt here. 4th and 4, they'll go for it. Searcy looking for the option. He's going to get the first down a little bit more. Here's Searcy. No flags in the backfield. And if Searcy can outrun the last man who's chasing after him, he's going to turn on the jets, trying to get to the end zone, and dives for the pylon, waiting for the signal. Believe he's short. No signal yet, but Searcy with no flags in the backfield. What a play by the senior.
What a play indeed. Way to make up for that kick return. But it looks like he might have stepped out just a little bit beforehand. He's probably winded after that run as well.
Looked like he was slow to get up too, but that yard gain, probably about a 75-yard rush. Knows his team is down and in a situation where they have to score, and incredible stuff.
This is the time for your seniors to pick up, and he knew it. He went, he led them as best as they can. Now the rest of the team's going to have to do their jobs.
He's going to hand it up the middle to Christian Sharp for the touchdown. What an offensive drive by Lighthouse, and they've got it within 12.
What a nice hold made by that offensive line. Finally, something that the offensive line is doing right is winning in those trenches.
Open up the gap. Christian Sharp almost untouched. He's got a 2-point conversion attempt. And you can see that one of the spotlights in stadium having issues. Turns out it's actually a cable that broke. So they're going to have to fix that in the offseason. Fortunately, not too dim here in Antioch, as what a way to avoid tackles there for Daniel Walls. Tried to keep the play going, but got brought down in the backfield. 26-14 with 8:26 left to go in the 3rd quarter. Lighthouse makes it within 12. 8:26 left to go in the third as this gets booted away, and attempted onside kick there. So Ezell-Harding will start out in Lighthouse territory. Shaves off 1 second off the clock. Well, for Ezell-Harding, the schedule gets tougher going forward. They have an extra day of rest as they have a Saturday matchup next weekend against the Lancaster Christian Academy Knights in Smyrna. So not too much of a travel for them up from Bell Road. Then they go back home for a collision with their divisional rival, the Franklin Classical School Knights, hosting the South Haven Christian School Patriots, and then finish up their divisional matchups on the road for the first weekend of October against Christian Community. So they'll know their playoff destiny after the first weekend of October. Right now they're trying to put themselves in a good situation here as they've got Melvin Cousins not getting a single tackle in as the Lighthouse defense, they finally get down inside of the 20-yard line. What a great run by the sophomore Melvin Cousins. And in the red zone are the Eagles.
Perfect move and all. Couldn't believe he got that one. He looked like he was about to get in trouble, but he was just perfectly out there at the right time and way to move out that pocket.
So new set of downs for a 1st and 10 inside of the 20-yard line of the 17. The handoff, left side carry. Finally took 3 Lighthouse defenders to bring down the runner in, Noah Preston.
Great run by Noah Preston here, just following his blocks, find the gap where he can get out. Little gainage of yards, but hey, a little is better than none.
Gain of about 4 yards there for a 2nd and 6 as Ezell-Harding is trying to gain back the 3-touchdown lead they had. This Lighthouse defense knows they have to make the stop here. As it's being handed off up the middle. Looks like Douglas Fording Company brought down the runner. That was a carry by Gabe Guzman. Brings up a 3rd down and 3. As for the Lighthouse Christian School Lions, they've got interesting schedule going forward. They do have a bye week, so they're off next week to rest and recover. Then they host Zion Christian, and then the Tennessee School for the Deaf on a Thursday night. Then their divisional matchups, their final divisional matchups of the year are the first 2 weeks of October against at Franklin Classical and hosting Christian Community. As we get a flag here.
Dead ball, false start, offense. 5-yard penalty, repeat 3rd down.
Brings it back 5 yards for Ezell-Harding for a 3rd down and about a 3rd down and 6. And with motion, they'll just have Cousins keep it left side, immediately met by Searcy. And tackle for a loss. 4th down coming up.
All credit to the defense on that one. Read the play easily, went with both runners, and one guy was able to take him down easily.
So now about a 4th down and 7. Ezell-Harding Eagles leading by 12 in the Battle of the Bell. Won the first matchup 2 years ago during their state championship run. Trying to make it a 2-0 start for this rivalry as the pass is made and forced out of bounds at about the 5-yard line, moves the chains for a 1st and goal.
Sometimes it's all you need, just a 1st and goal, just to get a little inch closer, just to score. Perfect play call by the coach.
Converting the fourth down there, a new set of downs to score. And this Lighthouse defense could be their last stand, depending on how the rest of the game goes. On a 1st and 10, it'll be a carry up the middle, and trying to push to the goal line is Cousins, and he'll be stopped short for a 2nd and goal.
Nice little QB sneak. Usually it works, but not today. The Lions are on it today.
Talked about it several times throughout the year about winning that battle in the trenches, and this defensive line has not really allowed any rushes to go up the middle. They might need to go outside of the trenches on some of these runs.
Well, that's what they've been winning is outside, and they know it, and they've been doing it. But, of course, they're going to try to sneak in a couple of middles just to get this defense off their feet.
On a 2nd and goal, right through the middle, a touchdown for Ezell-Harding. They trust Ryan Taylor, and he gets another 6 on the board for the Eagles.
Perfect run up the middle. As I said, you know, sometimes you just got to run it up the middle just to get that score, and he was not touched by anybody. Way to win trenches by the offensive line by Ezell-Harding.
The Eagles now try to go up by 20 again. And left side rush. 2-point conversion is no good. Still an 18-point lead now. It's the most that Ezell-Harding is allowed by the Lighthouse defense. 32-14, about 4 minutes left to go in the 3rd. Just over 16 minutes remain in regulation as Melendez will try to return it back. He's got some space, gets past 2 tacklers. How about 3? How about 4? How about Cadence Melendez, the sophomore, got 1 man to beat, and Melendez trying to get past these tacklers here. He's got some blocking all the way down to the 38-yard line. Cadence Melendez, the sophomore, with an incredible kick return.
Again, another sophomore trying to make his name out there. Perfect run by him, just brushing off these tackles like they're nothing. As he gets the wide open guy, it's just 1 man, but sometimes that 1 man can stop you just enough for a backup, but he had perfect blocking. But, hey, once again, great run. Way to get that ball in there. Yeah.
And how about the kicker doing his job there as well?
Hey, that's what you get paid. That's the kicker's primary payment right there. If you can tackle him, you're going to get a nice little paycheck or a scholarship in this case.
Scholarship, hopefully. And now a 1st and 10 inside Eagles territory as Christian Sharp tries to avoid out the tackle but is wrapped up. As Gabe Guzman wrapped up there on Sharp.
Hey, those tackles count as well. As long as you can keep them in one spot, that's a perfect spot to wait for the boys to come and help you out. I've been there plenty of times.
Hopefully that's bringing up pleasant memories for you.
Oh, yeah, very lovely, pleasant memories. Also sometimes bad.
Loss of 3 for a 2nd and 13. As Walls is going to keep it. He's got some blockers. He's got a gain of about 5 yards. Brings up a 3rd and 7. You know, we haven't heard it from you yet, Brendan, but assuming the score holds, who's your prediction for the Fairlife Core Power Protein player of the game?
Honestly, I don't know. As a collective, Ezell-Harding has been doing pretty good. They've made it tough for me to choose who's that 1 main guy. So this may have to be coach's choice.
Maybe you'll have a more clear choice going into the half, as that ball is way down in the backfield to the 46-yard line. Missed snap there, and it's going to bring up a 4th and long. So a timeout called by Lighthouse. And with 1:35 left to go in the third, perfect time to remind you that the Kingdom.com Extreme Game of the Week is sponsored by Kingdom.com, the ministry technology provider. Crumble Cookies, enjoy to every last crumb. And by Iceberg Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, services for every season. Thinking it over, and what a bomb during the pressure that he was under. Got the toss out, but incomplete, intended for Barga, and a turnover on downs.
As a wide receiver, you got to keep going. You can't just stop on a dime like that, wait for the ball to come to you. You got to search for that ball and keep trucking.
Not much that could be done there, and now with 1:29, Ezell-Harding will take over on downs. Turnover on downs here. Ezell-Harding starts on the 46-yard line. As it'll be a carry to the left side as Noah Preston to the outside, getting past the tackler. Noah Preston is for real. Touchdown.
Well, I'm surprised they're giving it to him. Looks like he was a little bit out at that 5-yard. But hey, this is a tight little rope.
I don't know if we could see that tightrope as there's any blade of grass in between.
You can't tell unless you have a camera going down the sideline on that, but at least for now, 38-14. Well, we know that Ezell-Harding is looking a lot better than the last few games we've seen them compete in.
Absolutely. And the word today, kids, is practice. Okay? Because they didn't get to practice last time we saw them. They got to practice today. And it looks like they're doing it a whole lot better than they did the first time we saw them around.
And 2-point conversion attempt. It'll just be Melvin Cousins breaking the goal line. Make that 40-14. The Eagles on their way to winning their second straight Battle of the Bell. 1:15 left to go in the third quarter. As it's be booted away and go over the head of River Rushlow. As they won't rule it a touchback, they allow it to keep going as Rushlow taking it to the left side. It's going to start their offensive drive inside their own 20-yard line.
And, you know, usually you would want that touchback, but coach probably thought, hey, if you can grab that ball and get it going like the last couple of times we've done it, why not? Which I don't hate him on that.
And they do rule it a touchback. So it looks like they allowed it to return. The officials discussed it over and called it a touchback with the ball touching inside of the past the goal line. It's better for them to get the call right. Looked fairly close on it, and of course the high school rule is if the ball touches in the end zone at all, or even if the player catches it there, it is immediately a touchback. At least it kind of helps the Lions as they get better field positioning as Christian Sharp cuts to the right side. Brought down almost completely from behind, and this will be a gain of 9 yards.
Great tackle by defense. They're now starting to learn how to tackle Sharp. At first it was difficult, but now they're starting to learn as the game goes on.
A gain of 7 is what they'll actually give Christian Sharp here for second down. About 30 seconds remain in this third quarter. Lighthouse down by 26. So they give it to Sharp again. Left side, he'll get just about to the line to gain. Maybe called for a third down. Called this one for a 3rd down and 1. End of 3 quarters, 12 minutes remain. A very large lead for the Eagles in the Battle of the Bell. Twelve minutes remain in regulation, 40-14 as the ball is loose in the backfield, immediately fallen on by the Lions and brought back down for a loss of about 6 yards for a 4th down. The Battle of the Bell winding down here in Antioch. Spencer Thompson, Brendan Daniel bringing you the action here from the Lions Den at Lighthouse Christian School. Alongside our Executive Director, James Shannon, Audrey Green up top with us, and Matthew Cruz running our field camera downstairs. So now a 4th down and 6. As the ball loose, and doesn't matter whether it was recovered on defense or not. It's turnover on downs here. And Ezell-Harding will get the ball and try to just run down the clock more. As Ezell-Harding feeling pretty much on top of the world right now as they'll start 1-0 for their in-division record.
Absolutely. Just run this clock down, take that W. You got to love it, especially after they got whooped upon the last game we were at.
Yeah, that game against Grace Baptist, and not even that. You think about last week where there was 27-0 where they got blown out on the road against Franklin Christian. It's in 2 games, 6 points, 1 touchdown, and here tonight, 40 points. It's a great turnaround situation for the Eagles. As they're just going to give it to Melvin Cousins. Melvin Cousins trying to get past to the goal line and touchdown. Melvin Cousins again for another 6 points for Ezell-Harding.
He knows how to get out of sticky situations, and for that situation, it's very sticky, but he got out enough to get that touchdown. Way to run up the board. But we also have a flag.
There's a flag down waiting for little Bradley to give us the call.
That is good. We got dead ball or sportsmanlike on the offense. The penalty will be assessed on the kickoff.
So it's now a 32-point lead, but the clock is still running. A lot of time winding down there. I don't know if they decided to run the mercy rule or what the situation is there, but
Yeah, it looks like they're giving the mercy rule.
probably that or the coaches just agreed to it because it's 35 is the mercy rule in Tennessee. It's right now a 32-point lead. Chance for it to be 34 right into the end zone. Rush there for Cousins, make that 48-14, a 34-point lead here in Antioch. So it looks like the clock is going to continue to wind down. My guess is that they have ordered the clock to run, even though it's not 35 points on the mercy rule. And what a tackle. Whew. A good tackle there by Jalen Jackson. Bring him down. And good tackle. Looks like the Lighthouse player slow to get up from that. Possibly got the wind knocked out of him.
Most definitely.
There he goes.
I've taken those hits, and I've given those hits. Those ones, you barely get up, but once you do, you just sit at that sideline, take a breath.
Yeah, River Rushlow tried to return the ball there, and it's a 1st and 10 on about the 44-yard line. Just a reminder for you all, we will be live tomorrow from White House, Tennessee. The Christian Community School Colts will collide with the Franklin Classical School Knights. We have 2 nights in a row where we're covering TSI-AA North matchups.
Tell them what time, Spencer, so they know what time to join us.
About 6.5 left in this game. We live at 6:45 Central tomorrow from White House, Tennessee. And tackle for a loss of 5 yards, a 2nd and 15 coming up as things wind down here in Antioch. Who's your player of the game here, Brendan? Who you got for Ezell-Harding?
As I said, it's I'm still on the whole group thing.
You got to make your prediction at least for one guy, because it was even a group. It was even a group situation last week with Grace Baptist, but you still made a decision.
Yeah, but I still picked out 3 guys. But for this game, it's a little tough because everybody's put in a lot of effort. The defensive line definitely have put up an effort. The running backs for sure deserve most of the credit for scoring and the hard run they've been doing today.
And it looks like Walls looking for the pass. He's going to keep it. Daniel Walls trying to get past the last defender there. Gets down to the 46-yard line in a good gain, but may just be too little too late. As the time winds down here in Antioch, another 1st and 10 for the Lions. And this handoff, Christian Sharp tries to push through a gain of about 3 yards on the play.
I can give you my honorable player of the game since he's on the losing team.
You could say, I mean, you could make your prediction. There's several guys who have stood out. Okay, you want me to just start naming people on the roster?
No.
You got to make your prediction, man.
I kind of have a feeling for – I'm going to go with Cousins, mainly because he's been –
That's who I was thinking, too.
Yeah, he's just been doing the work that needs to be done all around for the game. And honestly, for the honorable mention, you got to give it to Sharp. Like
at least for Lighthouse, yeah.
If Lighthouse was winning this game, Sharp definitely deserves it as he runs a hard. Look at this.
Yeah, just another great run by Sharp, another 1st down past the 30-yard line. It's, again, impressive by the yards after contact is what's really impressing me here. And, yeah, you're right about it, Sharp. I mean, yeah, it's likely you would think it'd be Melvin Cousins, but even then, you could understand if McGee gives it to anybody on the defensive line.
Exactly. I mean, that's what happened with Grace the first time around.
So Coach Dustin McGee with this win, he's going to go to 19-16. He's coming in tonight with a positive record at 18 wins, 16 losses, and that's in total, I believe, including his 11-man tenure, which was at 3-7. He was at 3-7 in 2018. As Christian Sharp is going to get to the end zone. You're right about that honorable mention, and a touchdown for Lighthouse Christian School.
Did you see that Derrick Henry almost stiff arm right there? Lord have mercy. Move the boy out the way, please.
I guess we didn't get a replay on there, but
no respect for Sharp, man. I tell you what.
And looks like they're still going to let the time wind down here in Antioch. Again, a tough schedule upcoming for both of these teams. Of course, Ezell-Harding has got Lancaster Christian, which used to be a matchup that used to be a really intense matchup in division. Of course, the first year that'll change as Walls 48-22 now with that 2-point conversion, but being 26-point lead. Looks like the clock's just going to wind down here in Antioch. About 1:14 left to go in regulation. It's just a high up kick, and it's fallen on by Michael Davis, the freshman, and things wind down here in Antioch. Coach Sean Bell starts out his head coaching tenure at 0-4, looking for that first win. 57.7, he calls a timeout, but looking for that first win in his head coaching tenure. And be sure to stick around for the Fairlife Core Power Protein post-game show. We'll interview the victorious coach, Dustin McGee. He'll pick his player of the game. We'll wrap things up and preview tomorrow's matchup between Christian Community and Franklin Classical School coming up on the Fairlife Core Power Protein post-game show. Well, Brendan, it seems at least through the games that we've covered in the Kingdom.com Extreme Game of the Week, it's so far we had a close game to start out the night between Ezell-Harding and Lighthouse, but seems so far we've mostly had one-sided games, still given the exposure to all the players and everything, but we mostly had one-sided games thus far in the season. Hopefully that trend changes tomorrow with Christian Community and Franklin Classical.
Hopefully, but you also need to realize the injury bug has been around and biting these teams, so it's been pretty difficult for these teams to, kind of keep up with other teams. Just for health reasons wise, you got all these young guys playing that probably never had the time to play and adjust to everything, but now they're learning and they're getting the chances. So,
and you can hear the Ezell-Harding bench cheering on for this. Again, they'll start out 1-0 in division, and Lighthouse Christian is going to go 0-2 with their loss to South Haven last week, and this loss tonight against Ezell-Harding. They still got their matchups against Christian Community and Franklin Classical later in the year. As the last play from scrimmage coming up. And a rush up the middle, and that's going to do it with the clock winding down. They give that carry to River Rushlow, the sophomore. And the bell is going to stay in Nashville. Ezell-Harding Christian School gets the victory, 48-22, with the clock expiring. One last scoring update before we send it to the postgame show.
In the fourth quarter, about 9 minutes to go, Zion Christian leads the Tennessee Heat 20-14.
Thank you for watching the Kingdom.com Extreme Game of the Week. Stay tuned for the Fairlife Core Power Protein postgame show.
When your workout ends, ours begins. Work hard, recover harder with Core Power. 26 grams of high-quality, complete protein.
Welcome, everybody, to the Fairlife Core Power Protein post-game show. I'm joined by the victorious head coach, Dustin McGee. Coach, what a game. You had a close matchup against Lighthouse at the start. How did you guys take it into the driver's seat after they scored that first touchdown in the first quarter?
Well, that pick six we had there right before halftime was huge, man. We did a really good job defensively, especially on a couple of fourth down stops that were massive for our momentum. And, you know, it's all the credit to these kids. The effort was great.
And how big is it, especially for the tough loss you had in the last several weeks, including the bell rings, of course, but especially with that loss against Franklin Christian on the road, how good does it feel for you and your team to get a much-needed victory on the road and your first in-division win in the CSIAA?
Hey, how's it feel, fellas? How's it feel?
Next week, you've got a matchup that used to be in division against Lancaster Christian Academy, and Coach Bragg and company always bring the momentum. Another game on the road for you guys, but what's the next step that you guys are preparing for against Coach Bragg?
We just took one step in the right direction. We're going to take another next week. Tell us what it's all about.
Well, Coach, we have the Fairlife Core Power Protein post-game player. Please introduce your player and why you chose him as the player of the game.
This is Kai Robinson. He had a pick six, but more importantly for us, I don't know if you noticed that 2-yard, 98-yard rundown he had on the other end of the goal line was a massive play for us, so we want to give him a shout out for that.
Well, congratulations, Coach, and let's go ahead and get Kai Robinson as he gets the shirt on. We'll hold this for you as we hope you get the shirt on. So, Kai, how impressive was it for your team to win in the fashion that they did to get the victory here in Antioch?
Well, after two tough losses, we really needed this. We really needed this. And coach, all the coaching staff, they really pushed us this weekend. They really did. And I give all the credit to our coaching staff and everybody here. We went crazy this week.
And what did you see on that pick six when you managed to run it back?
I saw Isaiah trying to celebrate with me when the play wasn't over. I'm just trying to, you feel me?
How does it feel to go 2 years in a row, 2-0 in this Battle of the Bell?
It feels amazing. I wasn't here for the first one, but I know we did the same thing. We're just going to keep rolling. It's going to be us every year.
Well, we've got some protein shake samples for you. You get to choose one of the flavors. We got chocolate, vanilla, strawberry banana, or the combination. They have a strawberry banana. Which one you going with?
No, I'm going with vanilla all day.
All right, let's get vanilla on them. Go ahead, crack it open now. The previous teams have said to chug it. You could chug if you want. Do you guys want them to chug? They do. How does it taste?
I can taste the flavor.
Congratulations, Kai. Your Fairlife Core Power Protein post-game player of the game. Well, Brendan. Brendan, I tell you, hey, we get crowded every post-game. That's just usually how it works. Your final thoughts, your take from tonight's contest of the Battle of the Bell.
Like I said, it was a hard pick for the player of the game because it was a team effort, as the coach and the player of the game said. But Ezell-Harding, what a great way to win a game. Lighthouse, tough luck, maybe next time.
Yeah, it's definitely tough luck for them as they go 0-2 in division and continue at 0-4, looking for Coach Sean Bell's first victory in his head coaching career. Tonight we've got another North matchup with Franklin Classical School, who we got robbed of a full game because of Mother Nature, but they collide for the first time in the Extreme Game of the Week with the Christian Community School Colts in White House. We were there for the Jamboree. We saw what Coach Flanders' company is capable of. You're ready to see Will Adams and company in the backfield, but that contest, especially for the first matchup for CCS in the North, this is going to be a big matchup. What are you expecting in White House?
Man, I'm expecting Adams to put in work, and I'm expecting CCS to take that game. Look, Franklin Christian,
Franklin Classical.
Franklin Classical. I hate the what Mother Nature won against you and took the game, but you guys are going to have to prove me wrong coming tomorrow.
Yeah, hopefully they will prove them on. Maybe they'll make you eat some humble pie, as a lot of teams have already done throughout the first few weeks of the season. That's going to wrap it up again. Your final score, 48-22. Ezell-Harding gets it done on the road against the Lighthouse Christian School Lions. For Brendan Daniel, for Matthew Cruz on the other side of the camera,
For Audrey Green, for James Shannon upstairs, I'm Spencer Thompson saying so long from Antioch. We'll see you live tomorrow for Franklin Classical and Christian.